This time on Rat and Cat Search and Survival, the best survival stories from June 2020. Welcome to Rat and Cat, where we search, survive, and explore. I'm Nikia. Let's take a look at some of the best survival stories from June 2020. In Colorado, a 22-year-old man was attempting to climb Juliet Collioure on Mount Neva, a Class 3 climb, when he slipped and fell 1,300 feet before slamming into a boulder field, sustaining serious lower body injuries. He was wearing a climbing helmet and had a satellite emergency beacon to call for help. He was also carrying an orange emergency blanket, all of which helped emergency services to locate him more quickly. The actual rescue required a Black Hawk helicopter and took only 4 hours. In the Sainte-Baume Mountains, France, 70-year-old Andre Tregeret went for a hike when he lost his way and became lost for 5 days. He had food and water for 1 day, but kept taking the wrong turns and circling back to the same ridge where he sheltered each night. With no water, he drank his own urine to survive. On the 5th day, he found an apple in his bag that he thought he'd already eaten. The man's son credited this to giving him clarity of thought. The man was then able to find his way to a hostel run by 2 Dominican friars. Off White Ridge Road in Mount Pleasant Township, Pennsylvania, a 40-year-old woman survived an attempted murder by her boyfriend. Left for dead, the woman couldn't see because her eyes were swollen shut from the beating. Despite that, she drug herself along Jacobs Creek for more than a mile, following the sound of a lawnmower. It was Debbie Scott who first saw her. She was literally dragging herself through my yard, Scott said. 39-year-old Charles Etling was at the police confessing to the murder when the police received news that the woman was actually still alive. Etling admitted to beating and strangling the woman, both inside and outside the vehicle, before leaving her body for dead in a wooded area just off White Bridge Road. At Henry's Lake State Park, Idaho, Thor Goddard and Sherry Groves were hiking on the Aspen Trail when they heard some ruffling in the aspen trees nearby and spotted something brown. 2 fat yearling grizzly cubs ran out. Goddard immediately then saw the mother grizzly standing just 20 feet away from him. The couple had bear bells on and bear mace, but the bear charged so fast that Goddard didn't have time to respond. The bear paused for a moment just 5 feet away from him before attacking, but then knocked him down and started biting his stomach and back. Goddard thought it would go for his neck, but instead the bear simply left. I'll put a link to the unedited photo from this attack in the description below. In Sussex County, 25-year-old Julia Tupi was hiking with friends when a black bear approached her. She, along with others, avoided the bear attack by calmly and quietly walking away. A friend captured the close call on their phone. What can we learn from these stories? Number 1, proper emergency equipment is easy to carry and, aside from saving your life, can greatly decrease the amount of time you'll be suffering in a difficult situation. 2, don't drink your own urine. The Army Field Manual has a list of things not to drink in a survival situation. They include fish juices, blood, alcohol, seawater, and urine. In fact, when you break it down, urine isn't that different from seawater. It's usually around 95% water with a mix of byproducts, including sodium, chloride, and urea. 3, if you're on a day hike, take enough food to last several days. A half dozen protein bars can do the trick. Number 4, in the case of attempted murder, Charles Etling had a history of violence. In fact, that's common. In 60 to 80% of intimate partner homicides, no matter which partner was killed, the man physically abused the woman before the murder. If you think you might be in danger, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. And number 5, the U.S. National Park Service recommends if the bear is stationary, move away slowly and sideways. This allows you to keep an eye on the bear and avoid tripping. Moving sideways is non-threatening to bears. If it follows, stop and hold your ground. Remember, bears can run as fast as a racehorse, both uphill and down. And like dogs, they'll chase a fleeing animal. And don't try to climb a tree to get away from a bear. Both grizzlies and black bears can climb trees. Number 6, know yourself. In an emergency, we default to our primitive instincts. We either freeze, flee, or fight. Know which one you do and practice an emergency situation to create muscle memory for a correct response. For example, if you use a firearm or bear mace, practice using them in simulated situations. The nice thing about bear mace is that you don't have to worry so much about misfiring. If you're in a high-risk area for bears, you can actually just hold on to it the whole time. You can also try using a chest mount for your bear spray. It might be easier than a belt mount. In any case, make sure that your defense tools are unobstructed and easy to access. I'll put a link at the end of this video to watch more of the best survival stories. Also, in an upcoming video, we'll look at some of the people who have gone missing on Mount Rainier this summer. And I'll put some links to my Patreon page below where you can see more images and information about these stories. And also let me know in the comments below about your survival stories. Do you tend to freeze, flee, or fight? Are there any recent survival stories that stood out to you from this last month? Until next time, I'm Nikia and this is Rat and Cat. Get out there, be safe, and enjoy the wild.